Joining me now is one of those senators, Democrat from Connecticut, Chris Murphy. So they have age requirements already on these social media sites. Instagram has 13. How do you verify it? How do you make sure that a kid can't get around it, Senator?
Well, let me guarantee you that the systems that are set up to check these kids' ages are not working. I'm pretty sure that my teenager and his friends.
I can tell you for a fact that my 12-year-old, now 13, yes, was on Instagram before he was of age.
Let me not call out, my friend and the kids in our neighborhood, but let's just say kids know how to get onto these sites before they're 13 years of age because it's an honors system. And that's really dangerous as far as I'm concerned. Listen, I am a parent. I've got a teenager and a preteen, and I see, the really dark, deep rabbit holes that kids can go down on these sites. Kids use them in really healthy ways. Sometimes they're just engaging with fun, sometimes meaningful content. But these sites also feed kids who are in trouble some really dangerous material, right? There are these stories of kids who have committed suicide who were, literally watching snuff videos on TikTok before they decided to kill themselves, videos essentially inviting themselves to the kid to pull the trigger. So how do we age verify? Well, we do it today. You have to age verify to get a passport, to get a bank account as a child, to get a driver's license. We will ask these companies to come up with a system by which a parent alongside their child would upload some document, whether it be a student ID or a birth certificate or a passport, that would have some information about the child's birth date. And then once they did that, the child would be allowed online. I just think it makes sense to be a little bit more careful today about how these kids get online, because these social media sites are engaged in the business of addicting these kids to screens, often to really dangerous content. We've just got to be more careful. I
know you proposed this with bipartisan support in the Senate. It's a bipartisan proposal. Do you expect it to come to the floor? Do you expect it to pass the House? What do you anticipate?
I think there's a really interesting realignment happening right now between conservatives and progressives, Republicans and Democrats. Tom Cotton and I don't agree on much. I think this might be one of the only pieces of legislation we're co-sponsoring together, but we're both parents, and so we're both going through this together. I think you're going to see an increasing amount of bipartisan legislation. Senator Blumenthal and Senator Blackburn, again, progressive Democrat, conservative Republican, have another piece of legislation protecting kids online. I think something will move through the House and the Senate in this Congress that will offer greater protection for parents and kids when they go onto social media sites. I don't know the exact scope of this, but I see this coming together of the two parties, because out there in America, it's apolitical. Parents of both political parties, parents on both sides of the ideological spectrum, are desperate for more protections for their kids online.
What do you say to those who say, I don't want to upload, or I don't want any uploading a government ID of any sort onto social media? I don't want to give these companies, these private companies, access to that information. Do you have an answer to that?
Well, right now, these social media companies have an extraordinary amount of data about your children, and often without you knowing anything about that information that they're collecting and then using in order to addict your child to often incredibly harmful content. Most of these social media companies already know your child's birth date. And so the amount of information that they need in order to verify your age is simple, just the date of birth of your child. And let me tell you, that is minuscule compared to the amount of data that these companies already have on you and your family.
So what I've always been bothered by is the algorithm. And even if, say you're of age, you're 13, and your parents say yes to this, it's hard to know what my child or any child is being fed. I mean, they might click on something innocuous, click on another thing that's innocuous, and then a third thing isn't suddenly any longer. How do you get the companies to regulate the algorithm?
So we've drawn a pretty hard line here. This legislation says that for any child, even who has parental permission under 18, the company can't use that child's personal data to boost the algorithm, to give that child more and more content that is specifically tailored to them, in part because these companies have had the chance to make these algorithms more responsible, but they can't do it. So if a kid is contemplating self-harm and starts to linger longer on videos of kids talking about cutting themselves or killing themselves, they just get fed more content, basically daring them to engage in that behavior. TikTok has had years to stop that, but they don't because that's their business model. Their business model is feeding on kids' insecurities and anxieties to keep them on the screen longer, to sell them more stuff. And so our legislation says until you hit 18, your data, your swipes, how long you linger on videos can't be used to boost the algorithm to perfect the content that's given to you.
Listen, I'm 39 years old, and it does all of those things to me. Imagine what it's doing to a kid. I just want to ask you, Winley, but we have less than a minute left, but do you have something to say about what happened in Texas, the shooting?
Yeah, just absolutely heartbreaking. And to listen to Governor Abbott, reduce this family, the children, to their immigration status, I just think is really, really disgusting. Listen, we got a problem out there. It's the guns and the number of guns and the fetishization of guns that happen. But we just also right now have a country living on edge. People getting killed over pulling into the wrong driveway, getting shot at just because they rang the wrong doorbell. We got to have a conversation about our gun laws, but we also just have to have a conversation about why we have become so unkind, why this whole country seems to be living on the edge right now. That's a much bigger, broader conversation. But as somebody who leads the conversation on guns, I realize that it's a much deeper dialogue that we have to have with each other.